Hello everyone, and welcome to the Room of Requirement. Today's video is going to be on the elements as living forces of consciousness and daily life. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Across all authentic spiritual, magical, and mystical traditions, the elements are recognized as the primary forces through which consciousness enters form. They are not merely symbolic metaphors, nor are they simply physical substances. They are living principles, each governing a distinct mode of perception, experience, behavior, and interaction with reality itself. Every thought, emotion, decision, action, and spiritual experience is shaped by elemental influence. To live without elemental awareness is to move unconsciously within these forces, driven by imbalance rather than guided by wisdom. To work with the elements deliberately is to cultivate inner coherence, clarity of perception, and stability of spiritual development. The elements are the grammar of manifestation. They determine how energy condenses into form, how consciousness organizes itself into identity, and how intention becomes experience. Without understanding them, spiritual practice becomes unstable, magical work becomes distorted, and daily life becomes fragmented. True spiritual development does not transcend the elements. It refines and harmonizes them. The initiate does not escape earth, but learns to embody it wisely. Emotion is not eliminated, but regulated and clarified. Thought is not silenced, but disciplined. Will is not suppressed, but aligned. Spirit does not bypass form. It inhabits it fully and consciously. This is why every authentic magical, alchemical, mystical, and occult system begins with elemental study. The elements form the foundation of all inner work. Without elemental mastery, higher operations become unsafe, unsustainable, or psychologically destabilizing. With elemental harmony, daily life itself becomes a continuous ritual of integration and awakening. All magical systems operate upon a single foundational principle: consciousness influencing form through patterned force. The elements are the most fundamental expression of that patterned force. In ceremonial magic, ritual structure is built upon elemental containment. In alchemy, transformation unfolds through elemental stages of dissolution, purification, and fixation. In astrology, planetary energies express themselves through elemental modes. In tarot, the minor arcana embody elemental forces in action. In mysticism, inner states of consciousness are navigated through elemental refinement. Magic does not function through intention alone. Intention must be carried by an elemental medium. Thought travels through air. Emotion moves through water. Action ignites through fire. Manifestation stabilizes through earth. And spirit orchestrates all of them. When an element is ignored or overemphasized, magical work becomes unstable. Excess fire leads to obsession and burnout. Excess water produces emotional delusion and psychic confusion. Excess air fragments perception and destabilizes the nervous system. Excess earth produces rigidity, stagnation, and fear of change. Thus, every authentic magical system trains practitioners to balance the elements before ascending into higher mysteries. This ensures that power does not outtrain capacity, and perception does not outrun embodiment. The doctrine of the elements appears in nearly every ancient civilization. Ancient Egypt encoded elemental principles into temple architecture, ritual timing, and initiatory symbolism. Vedic and Tantric systems taught the Pancha Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, and ether as the foundation of creation. Greek philosophers, especially Empedocles, formalized the four-element model. Platonic and Aristotelian philosophy expanded the elements into metaphysical frameworks. Hermetic traditions taught elemental ascent and descent through planes of consciousness. Alchemy structured all spiritual transformation through elemental stages. Ceremonial magic developed precise elemental correspondences, linking directions, angels, tools, colors, and ritual movements. Across all traditions, the elements are not viewed as material substances, but as cosmic forces organizing reality. The human system is a microcosm of elemental forces. Earth governs the physical body and material stability. Water governs emotions, memory, and subconscious patterns. Air governs thought, language, and perception. Fire governs will, vitality, and transformation. Spirit governs awareness, coherence, and integration. Spiritual imbalance always corresponds to the elemental imbalance. Healing, awakening, and mastery therefore require elemental reharmonization. In modern spiritual culture, the elements are often dismissed as primitive, simplistic, or incomplete. They are spoken of as tools for basic spellcraft, beginner magic, or symbolic gestures rather than as structural intelligence of reality itself. Many encounter the elements briefly, perhaps through candle magic, herbal correspondences, or seasonal rituals, and then move on, assuming there is something more advanced elsewhere. This misunderstanding arises not because the elements are shallow, but because they are so fundamental that their depth is easily overlooked. What is foundational is often mistaken for what is optional. What is ever present is mistaken for what is insignificant. The elements are not low magic, they are pre-magic. They exist beneath technique, beneath ritual form, beneath belief. Every magical system that has ever endured is built upon them, whether they are named explicitly or concealed beneath more complex symbolic language. High magic does not replace the elements, it depends on them entirely. Another reason the elements are disregarded is that they do not feel abstract enough. They are too close, too intimate, and they are already happening within the body, within the psyche, and within daily life. And so they are mistaken for something external, distant, or optional, rather than recognized as the very forces shaping perception, behavior, and experience, moment by moment. The Hermetic principle, as above, so below, is not poetry. It is operational law. What exists in the cosmos exists within the human being, and what moves within the human being reflects the movement of the cosmos. We breathe air into our lungs, and through that breathe thought, perception, and nervous system regulation that becomes sustained. The same air exists as wind, atmosphere, planetary circulation, and cosmic movement. Blood flows through the body carrying minerals, iron, salt, and density. Earth moving in liquid form. Fire burns within the metabolism, animating will, digestion, vitality, and transformation. Water carries memory, emotion, and continuity through the body, just as the oceans carry life, tides, and the lunar rhythms across the planet. They are not metaphors, they are mirrors. The human being is not separate from elemental reality. The human being is a convergence point of all elemental forces. The same principles that govern stars, seasons, planetary motion, and geological formation also govern emotion, thought, desire, and embodiment. When the elements are ignored, imbalance does not disappear. It simply becomes unconscious. Emotion overwhelms or shuts down. Thoughts fragment or dominate. Will burns out or collapses. The body destabilizes. Spiritual practice becomes disembodied, ungrounded, or psychologically unsafe. This is why the elements are not merely used in spell work. They are used to stabilize consciousness itself. They are not tools to manipulate reality. They are the means by which reality is understood, inhabited, and aligned. To study the elements is to study the relationship between the body and the cosmos, psyche and matter, spirit and form. To embody them is to participate consciously in the same intelligence that moves through worlds, stars, seasons, and breath. What appears simple is often the most profound, and what is always present is often the most powerful. The elements are not beneath advanced work. They are the ground upon which all true work stands. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you on the elements. I hope you understand them and how they are part of our daily life and the basis of our consciousness as you go along your spiritual path. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you next time. Bye.